Hello everyone, welcome to another Alteneu video. This is Svetlana. Today I will be making a quick and simple winter card, which is easy to replicate even for card making beginners. I also will be sharing some tips and tricks along the way. I'm starting by making a simple watercolor background, and my watercolor paper of choice this time is Arches Hot Press 1. I cut a panel of 3 3/4 and 5 inches out of this paper. I usually use this size of a panel for an A2 card. This way I have a nice 1/4 inch border around the panel. Next, I will be mounting the panel to an Alteneu large palette. I won't be taping it down. Instead, I'm using sticky rolls which I made with a painter's tape by sticking two sticky edges together. Taping down the panel would create white borders which I would need to trim off. I don't really like wasting paper like this, to be honest, especially as this time I'm using the paper which is a bit expensive. I won't be working with a lot of water this time, so this type of paper mounting totally works for me. I will be creating a simple watercolor wash using the Alteneu watercolor pen set. Specifically, I will be using Lagoon paint. First, I'm wetting the paper with clear water. Next, I'm picking up some pigment from the pen, squeezing the excess by pressing the brush against a paper towel, and dropping the pigment onto the panel. After that, I'm blending it out with clear water. I'm continuing doing the same until I'm happy with the result. So I'm dropping the paint here and there and then blending it out with clear water. I'm trying to create a quite soft and breezy background here. I wanted to have kind of an umbrella look, darker on the top and gradually coming to nothing at the bottom. You can see me blotting up the paint in the bottom area as I wanted to have almost no color. I ended up not using this part of the panel because I had an accident, which you're gonna see later, but I still wanted to show you the whole background. On a side note, it's very convenient to mount a watercolor project to the palette, where you can also dilute some paint or mix color on the side, so it becomes like a one working area. After I finished the background, I let it dry completely. You can see that my panel didn't warp very much. This mounting method of sticky rolls also helps to prevent warping, the same as taping down. Next, I will be decutting the Creative Edge Evergreen die out of a piece of Jack Black cardstock. I'm using the grid of my mat to align the die onto the paper. Next, I will be stamping a sentiment from the Night Before Christmas stamp set in the bottom part of the panel. I'm using my Mini Misty for stamping, and I also using the Evergreen die cut to decide where to place the sentiment. And I'm stamping the sentiment using the Jack Black ink. I'm stamping it twice to get a darker result. Now I want to cut several small stars out of this background. I will be using dies from the Land of the Free die set. Alteneu carries several other sets where you can find small stars as well, so you don't need to own this particular one. Okay, while I was decutting the stars, I got my stamped sentiment smudged. Probably this watercolor paper is not really applicable for stamping. I don't use it very often, so never faced such issue before. Luckily, this can be easily fixed. I cut a small panel of the same width out of a solar white cardstock and stamped the sentiment onto it. After that, I adhered the evergreen die cut onto this white piece and cut off its edges to the sentiment piece width. Now it's time to decide which card base to use. I like to keep several card bases of different colors handy when I'm not sure which one to choose. White, black, craft, and gray are usually my to-go colors. So I'm placing my panel onto each, deciding which one I like more. Eventually, I decided on the craft one. Also, I think the gray would work too. I added some foam tape onto the back side of the panel, and now I'm removing the backing from some pieces and mounting it. This gives me some wiggle room when I'm centering the panel on the card base. Once I'm happy with its position, I go ahead and remove the rest backing. Lastly, I popped the sentiment piece onto the card. I kind of like how it turned out that I have the sentiment piece popped. So this incident with smudged stamping turned out too good. Okay, so this would be it for the card. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.